Pleb Talk. It's Pleb Talk. Little bit of Pleb Talk in your life. Alright,
yeah. I hope you guys like that intro music made from one of our friends, Weary Gentleman.
Something like that. Yeah.
We love you. Thank you so much for supporting the channel with your music, man. And let's keep it going. So actually, just a couple days ago, we celebrated our 1 year anniversary of this fantastic podcast, and we couldn't do this without your support, you guys watching or listening. So thank you guys from the bottom of our hearts.
Yeah, man. It's been a good time. It's been a good time.
Absolutely.
15 episodes for our first year. Yeah, we'd like to do some more, but sometimes we're a little busy.
Averaging about one episode per month at the very least. That's it's not too bad. It's not too bad. Today we got something special for you guys. We got something very contemporary. We tend to talk about stuff that's kind of happened in the past or that has already been resolved, but this is kind of fresh. So we'll see what you guys think and let us know. So today I am wearing a 2007 Barcelona away jersey with TT Henry on the back. And what are we drinking, man?
We're drinking some Sapporo Premium. I love me some of the Sapporo.
Some Japanese good old beer. No, you can't go wrong with it. It's a classic.
I don't know if you've ever had Sapporo for all the people listening or watching, but these cans are built beefy.
Yo,
I mean, you can try to crush these things, and they just don't.
It's good quality. I love that.
I love that too. I love that too. All right, man. Cheers.
Cheers. All right, man. Thoughts on the beer? Japanese. It's a classic. You can't really go wrong with it. There's another version that we both prefer. The what's it called?
Sapporo Reserve.
Reserve.
The Reserve's got a nice hearty flavor. This one's kind of like a light crisp flavor. It's just Sapporo Premium. I think it's actually Premium Silver or Silver Premium, something like that. Really, really, really light, crisp, easy to drink. But I'm telling you, that Reserve one, if you get a chance to get that Reserve, you get it.
Funny enough, one of the first times I've had this beer was actually probably with you when I was doing sake bombs. I'm sorry, way long ago.
Really? That's Sapporo?
Yeah.
Are you sure? You got a bomb or something going on, or what?
Okay.
Sake bombs, though, huh?
Yeah, I think that was the first time I had it. So you can't even really appreciate the beer when you do sake bombs because it's just
sake bombs. Ooh,
sake.
Man,
what is it? Like a rice liquor or?
Yeah, exactly.
So,
rice liquor.
You can't really appreciate it, but yeah, that was one of the first times actually probably with you.
If you're doing sake bombs right, you're just throwing that thing back.
One shot, one shot.
Those were some good times.
Young, very good times. Yes, man. But
I think those days are behind me.
Those are stories now. Yo, man, so just to start this off, man, I have a question for you. So, like I said, this is very recent in the news.
Okay.
Famous artist, producer, musician, Kanye West, now known as Ye. I believe he actually changed his name, like legally changed his name, I believe, but he's only referred to as Ye now. Cause
interesting.
He kind of sees himself as like, there was a Kanye West that was me in the past, and now it's a new me type of thing, kind of like us with the sake bombs, like that's not us anymore.
Yeah.
But he went all out and changed his name. This gentleman, famously known for, his music, of course, albums like College Dropout and Graduation back in, I don't know what, early 2000s, 2010s.
Mm-hmm.
Has been kind of going off the rails as a artist, as an entrepreneur, connoisseur of making businesses. He's, I think, one of the he actually is probably the richest music artist in the world through his contracts with Adidas and Gap clothing. Those were all closed. He's not signed to them anymore. They dropped them because of what happened. What I'm about to talk about right now. He has been going off the rails about people that have done him wrong in the past or currently that just happen to be Jewish, right? And he had this podcast with Mr. Lex Friedman.
Lex Friedman, yeah.
Where he kind of explained what was going on with him and why he thinks that the Jewish, he says, media are after him. And that, these music producers, these what do they call it? The brand people, the CEOs, they just all happen to be Jewish, and they for some reason done him wrong with whatever money or contracts or whatever. He now is all against Jewish people or corporate, and obviously that means that he is anti-Semitic in that sense. So he denies that.
But did he actually say that he's against like Jews or something like that?
He's like in his words, he's like, there's something going on in the background, in those higher powers, Illuminati type of thing, that aren't letting me succeed type of thing. And they happen to be Jewish, so because of that, that's messed up. So the media, of course, will take this as far as they can. They start calling him anti-Semitic. And I mean, the way that he poses those comments, it is right. There's no way around it. You hate a type of person, whether it's religion or race or ethnicity, because of some whatever XYZ. Mm-hmm. That's racism. That's bigotry, right?
But does he actually, like in his interviews? I mean, I don't watch the interview. Honestly, I don't. For all of you who don't know, I don't really keep up with stuff like that, but. Did he actually say though that he's against the Jews or in some effect like that?
No, not against them like that.
But he just believes
all these people are Jewish and they're
he's just saying it just so happens that the higher powers are all Jewish.
Yes,
and he's against the higher powers.
Right.
And it just so happens that they're Jewish.
Exactly. Mm. But he's taking it to the extent where it's like, they're something, they don't let me succeed, right? So I have these people against me.
But did he mention them that they're Jewish?
Yes. Oh, yeah.
He did?
Oh, yeah, without a doubt, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
How did he disclose that?
It was like I said right now, there's brand deals that he would have had as a music artist coming up that wouldn't let him, they wouldn't sign him because X, Y, and Z, and they happen to be Jewish.
So he's saying...
So he's basically generalizing those people that have done him wrong that happen to be Jewish, and he's saying the Jewish media is against me. Right, so it's funny because I saw another podcast today that said something like Kanye, if only he had just said the person specifically, hey, Sean is doing me wrong, and he happens to be Jewish, but it doesn't matter. But it's Sean's doing me wrong, then that's a different story, right? Because you're actually explicitly putting the person's name on there, and not because they're Jewish, but really it's just Sean. But he's using it in a broad sense, no, this person is Jewish. Mm. This person have to be Jewish as well. And because of that,
they're after me.
So, question here is, and I'm using Kanye as an example because he's an artist that many people know of his work and love it or hate it and whatever, but he's very famous because of it. My question here is, at what point, if at all, right, for you as a music listener or whatever, or it could be music, it could be movies, it could be literal art, it could be anything. At what point, like I said, if at all, do you take a step back from a person's art because of the person, because of the artist?
See, and that's the thing. I just don't believe people would actually take a step back from the artist because of their own beliefs. I mean, look at that one. I think it was the Boston bomber. You remember anything about that? Let me just make sure I got my facts straight.
Yeah. I don't know about this, no.
Yes, it was him. The freaking Boston bomber, right? Mm-hmm. Killed a bunch of people or something.
Right.
And I want to say whenever his mugshot came out, I think it was Rolling Stones. Rolling Stones posted his mugshot and basically made him look glorified. People basically wanted him free. I want to say it was the Boston bomber. Okay, but it was someone who did something heinous.
Okay, but because of his looks, or what do you mean?
Just because of his mugshot. Yeah, they were like, "Oh yeah, free this guy." This guy, he's got a nice mugshot. So
yeah,
because, look, the guy just did a heinous act.
Yeah,
and people don't even know this dude. It's like, "Oh yeah, free him, yada yada yada," or something. So that being said, Kanye says something controversial. I mean, because he says controversial stuff all the time, at least from what I hear in passing.
Yes.
That's not going to change people's, view. I mean, it might change their view on the guy, but they're still going to listen to him. They're still going to partake in his artwork or his creations. So I just don't think people are going to actually change.
That's interesting because we also live in a cancel culture right now where it's like, someone says the wrong thing and they're out, bro. Movies won't hire them or their contracts, their sponsorships drop them, and it's like in a heartbeat like that, right? Because they don't want to be affiliated to them. So, like I said, Adidas, Gap, and a couple other companies have dropped Kanye West because of that. Mm-hmm. But I'm talking to the individual. I'm talking to the moviegoer, the music listener, the artist, museum goer. I'm talking to you directly. At what point, if at all, like I said, and it doesn't have to be Kanye, right? You could be like, you know what, Kanye, look, the music he made was 10, 15 years ago. He was a different person back then. I respect that Kanye. I like that Kanye more. The music he was making at that time was way better than it was now. So I'll still listen to him because of that, because it was the Kanye of the past. But say he drops a banger today, right? He drops a fire, a club song, right? And it's a banger, you can't deny it. Will a club play it, or will you listen to it in your car, knowing what he said a week ago or whatever, 2 weeks ago? Or do you have like no connection between the artist and the artist? It's a tough question, right? Because, obviously his art will not portray what he said, right? But also art is a reflection of the artist, right? Or a piece of the artist.
I mean,
what do you think? Let's say Van Gogh was like a known animal brutality killer, right?
See, and that's the thing, though. Look at the population who appreciates Van Gogh. Okay, you have an older population. Okay, I believe an older population. This is my thought process on it. I believe an older population kind of looks more at the whole picture.
Yeah.
I believe most of the listeners who are appreciating, I say that with quotes, Kanye's music is younger than 35.
Okay.
Would you agree or disagree?
Most of it, yeah, sure. Yeah.
And
35, yeah.
I think the younger population just doesn't care. Doesn't have that forethought. Oh, he said something bad. I don't care. I like his music. People listen to it. Yeah. So that's just my thought on it.
Interesting. Because this really goes like with cancel culture, because you also had that Travis Scott incident, was it last year? I don't know if you heard about that. Him at a festival where a bunch of people died because it was like overcrowded and there wasn't, enough help there to assist those people. And he was out of the picture for a while, maybe a year and a half or so.
Shoot, man, I wanted to cancel him.
You do want to cancel him?
I wanted to cancel him when that happened, yeah.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's reckless, right? But he's also an artist that like tends to make bangers, right? He tends to be an artist that knows what the listener's looking for, and he tends to hit it, the nail on the head. But he's kind of coming back now into the culture, into the scene, and I really haven't heard much of cancel him again or keep him canceled or keep him away. It's kind of like, it's whatever. So maybe you're right about that young population or that young audience that they want that quick stuff, right? It doesn't really matter. If it's good, it's good. If it's bad, it's bad. It doesn't matter about the artist and what he has done or what he will do or whatever like that. It's a tight position, man, because I did this example earlier. Say Hitler, made the Mona Lisa.
Okay.
Right? At the time that what was it? Who made the Mona Lisa? Not Raffaello. Michelangelo.
What was it? Oh, I was going to say Da Vinci. I don't know.
Oh, you're right, Da Vinci. You're right.
Was it Da Vinci?
Yeah, Da Vinci. At the time that Da Vinci made it, right? Just an example. Trying to figure out. Would have the Mona Lisa been just as famous had Hitler made the painting? Or the painting. Yes or no?
See, that's the thing, like I said. I don't think it would have, because look at the population who appreciates fine art. It's not younger than 35. Look at all the people who, I mean, granted, I've never been to one of these art, fiasco things, but from the way I view them, I would assume it's a lot more of the older population.
Okay, but what does that have to do with?
Because the older population looks at the whole picture. It's like, oh, dude, Hitler, he was a bad dude.
Yeah.
I can't support this. So it's not going to be appreciated.
Because, I mean, obviously that painting's been around for hundreds of years, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, had it been made, you know, because someone that's 60 years old appreciating it now would have maybe appreciated when he or she was 20, 23, 40, 50 years old.
So.
You think later in their life they tend to appreciate things more because of the actual object objectively rather than the subjective idea of the artist and what he or she represented.
See, that's what I'm saying. I think the older population looks at the artist as a whole.
Yeah.
And if the artist as a whole, you know, doesn't have the right personality, doesn't have the right character traits, they're gonna see them like,
Yeah. So the Mona Lisa made by Hitler would be appreciated more.
No, it'd be appreciated less.
I'm sorry, more for people that are older now or younger than.
No, it would be appreciated. Well, that's the thing. I don't think young people care about art, but I think let's just say they did care about art.
Yeah.
I think younger people would be like, oh yeah, that's a great painting. I think younger think, sure, maybe.
Yeah, we live in a weird time, right? Where like a painting like that, had it been made by somebody else at a different time.
Are there even great paintings nowadays?
See, that's the thing, right? Because nowadays
they're like
we have a lot of digital stuff, right?
Yeah, they're like stupid paintings, like let's throw some polka dots right there. All right, $2 million. You know.
Yeah, it's controversial what art is, right? What is art, right? I don't really want to get into that one because that's a good topic for another time. But I will say, now I've seen paintings of people that do paintings nowadays that are so talented that they can like literally make the Mona Lisa right today and add on to it and make it even crazier. But maybe what makes it so special is because it's the first one that's ever been made, and also with the tools that they've had at the time is what makes it so special. I have no idea, man. Art is one of those things I can't really put into words because it's so subjective, right? It's like a mood, it's a person, it's a time period, it's what the painting means, it's what the art is represented, it's just all these variables that go into one piece of paper, one canvas.
Fun little quick story.
Yeah,
I drew a.
I want to hear this one. Yeah, what'd you draw?
I drew a picture once in, I want to say it was like second grade.
Second grade? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And maybe I'll bring it in sometime and show the audience one day. But
you got space.
Yeah. Oh yeah, we'll put it up there. I drew a picture. I think it was in second grade. Might have been fourth grade. One of the two grades.
Yeah.
And my teacher thought it was so revolutionary that she entered it into like some like art thing.
That's crazy.
Yeah, pretty wild.
That's crazy.
And she's like, yeah, I really see the artistic value in this.
Yeah.
I was like, all right, yeah, sure.
Yeah,
I mean,
me too. Yeah.
she was like, yeah, you think you'll be comfortable with me, like, presenting this?
Yeah.
And I was like, this is me in second grade.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, sure. Yeah, okay.
You remember what it was, real quick?
Oh yeah, I remember. Yeah, it was like an eye. So it was like an eye in the middle.
Okay.
And it just had a bunch of like things branching out from the eye.
Got you.
But that's all I really remember from it. I don't really remember too much about it.
Yeah.
But like I said, maybe I'll bring it in one day.
That's interesting. You still have it.
I do have it. Yeah.
It's a cooler part.
I have it. It's somewhere, but yeah.
Interesting. 40 years later.
Yeah, 40 years later.
And what resulted?
I don't know. I don't remember. I don't think anything really resulted. But yeah.
That's cool, actually. Yeah, and it's subjective. Maybe she saw something in herself through that painting or something like that. I wanted to say one more thing, but my answer to that question is: does the artist? At what point does the art affect the artist, or vice versa? At what point does the artist affect the art? I'd say it's also like the time period that they're in, right?
Absolutely. I mean, look, there's no Beethovens nowadays,
Yeah. Oh, and I mean, and you think, and even if there were, right? Even if there's, they wouldn't matter because it's been done, right? You think that's why? You think that's why someone playing the piano now, going crazy, doesn't get as famous because it's kind of been done already, or the times have changed?
The times have changed.
Yeah.
Times have changed.
Tastes have changed.
I mean, look, times have changed. Like now, like you said, like now we're in cancel culture.
Yeah.
So I mean, like who would have thought this was going to be a thing like 20, 30 years ago?
That's crazy, man. That's crazy. let's move on, man. Let's
move on. Yeah, what do we got?
I have an interesting topic here, man, because it's free speech.
Okay.
Free speech. What does that mean? What does that mean? And in the terms or in the sense of social media, and how do they correlate, if at all? It's tough, man. It's tough. So, as you guys, I'm sure, hopefully know by now, Twitter was being negotiated for sale or with Elon Musk for the longest time, and they were going back and forth of prices and rules and terms and stuff like that. For some reason, whatever, for me at least, I wasn't keeping up with it when it happened, but out of the blue, for me, like I said, Elon Musk came to terms with the, I guess, CEO or something, or I don't know who sells it.
Yeah, I believe. Exactly. I believe they went to court about it because he really didn't want to buy it.
Okay.
Like he backed out. He's like, there's too many robots. Yeah. Most of the user base is actually robots, and this is pretty stupid. And I think he even said like it's stupid for advertisers to advertise on Twitter. And he went to court about it. Yeah. And I don't know if there was an actual like decision saying, hey, look, you made the promise to buy it, you have to buy it. Or I don't know if they just backed out of the court case, and I think maybe he realized that, hey, like he has to buy it because of whatever agreements were already previously made. Then he ended up buying it.
Yes.
And I think he bought it for $56 billion.
I have no idea, man. Something like that. Something crazy.
Which is pretty insane, because I believe the real evaluation for Twitter on a good day is around $20 billion. Maybe on its absolute best day, $25 billion.
I don't even know how you
value
that. I don't know.
Basically, it's basically off their
monetization of sponsors or ads,
off how many shares they have times their stock price, and I guess you can factor in like what kind of user base they have and demographics, and what they've clicked on, what they what these demographics like and dislike. So I guess you can value in like a value of information that you're getting as well.
So, boom, he buys Twitter, right? Right off the bat, people are getting fired.
Yes.
Now, real quick, before we get into the main topic, what do you think about that? CEO of Twitter firing people that have been there maybe a couple years.
I think that's a good move, because I don't know if you knew, but Twitter in its entire existence has never turned a profit.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's never turned a profit.
So I agree. I don't think it's a good move. It sucks for the people that are being fired, but also it's like
it doesn't suck. I think they're getting a severance package each of like $200 million, something insane.
No. I heard it was they're getting 50% over what their contract says. So I think it's like instead of a month and a half of severance pay, I believe it's 3 months.
Okay.
Elon did tweet that. I don't know what the of course everybody's salary varies, right? But
right.
I will say that Elon's a billionaire. He's a businessman. So if there's somebody that kind of knows a thing or two about, what works and what doesn't work, it's Elon. And it's also his company now. So if he wants to fire people...
dude. I think he messed up on this one. I really think he messed up.
What do you mean?
So, I could be wildly wrong on this.
Oh, on the business move? Of buying it?
No, I think it's a horrible move. Okay, and I believe that to be true wholeheartedly. But I believe, this was such a bad move. I mean, this is kind of ridiculous to say, considering how much money we have compared to him.
Yeah.
But so he's a billionaire.
Yeah.
But I want to say, I could be, of course, wildly wrong on this.
Yeah.
But I want to say he only had like 2 or 3 billion liquid.
Okay.
All right. Only, right?
Yeah.
But it costs like 50 billion to buy.
Right.
All right, so the loans he had to take to buy Twitter, I want to say the interest alone was in like the hundreds of millions per year.
Oh, yeah, without a doubt.
I mean, look, I know Tesla's a good business. I know SpaceX is probably a good business,
as well.
Getting contracts with governments and stuff like that, but you got to be turning some good profits just to counteract the interest alone on these loans.
So that's a perfect leeway into the main topic, actually.
What's up?
He's always kind of been a fan, or he's kind of been an advocate for free speech, right?
Yeah.
Say what you want, how you want, where you want, freely. And he kind of wants to embody that idea onto Twitter. And I don't know if you know, but those famous people get like the blue check marks.
Yes.
Have you heard?
I have heard.
Okay, so he wants to have it where it's like a subscription to Twitter. Basically, if you want to verify your account, you can. Anyone can.
Mm-hmm.
If you pay $8 a month.
Yeah. That's why earlier, before I was like, hey, are you going to buy? I was like, actually, don't tell me. Let's wait for the episode.
Is that the question?
Yeah, that was the question.
Okay.
Yeah.
So basically, if you... See, I don't know what... I mean, I think it rolls out this week or something like that. So where if you want to verify that it's really you, there's only one you, no one else can copy your account, you can pay this $8 and tweet, I guess, right?
Yeah.
This is to avoid the scammers or whatever trying to copy your account or
I wouldn't even say that, dude. So I remember I was watching a little snippet of it.
Yeah.
And so he said, the way he made it sound like is that if you do not get the $8 subscription thing, then basically it's going to be hard to be found. Like, no one's going to find your tweets. Yeah. That basically the system is going to only prioritize people who have paid. So when you search for something or something, basically everything is going to be from people who have paid. And then once you exhaust all those people, then it's like people who haven't paid.
Yeah.
I mean, is that really free speech in the sense of free? I mean, yeah, it's free in one sense,
right?
but
that's the question, right? So it is free speech, but it's like it's almost
with an asterisk,
or with an asterisk, and a lot of famous people that already have the blue check mark for free that have had it are saying, F this, I'm out. I don't care for Twitter that much. I don't need to use it. Yeah. If anything, me having Twitter and me having the blue check mark is more of like an ad or more of a incentive for people to follow me, to look me up and stuff like that. And I'd kind of promote Twitter by having the blue check mark. Now I'm like, no, I have to pay for this. I don't want it anymore. And they're out. So there's a lot of backlash. There's people that are for it. There's people that are against it. Now, to follow up on this, before we get into whether I buy it or not, there's this YouTuber. I don't know if you've heard of him. It's H3H3.
Never heard of him.
Okay. Excuse me. His name's Ethan Klein. He's kind of like he used to be like an account or a YouTube channel that would make like parody videos and like make fun of stuff or commentary. Now he's got a podcast. He and his wife have a podcast. Whatever. Funny guy. Whatever. So he has a blue check mark, of course, because he's famous and he's got, he also has like a clothing line or whatever. He has a blue check mark. So you know how you have like your at, right? So, Sean at Sean Pleb Talk host, whatever, but yada yada. Mm-hmm. But you can actually have like your name, or you can have some sort of name that whatever you want, and you can change it. It's interchangeable. It doesn't, and anyone can have it. So he on his account, on his Twitter account, that with a blue check mark, put Elon Musk, right? But his at is still the same thing, H3H3 Productions, right? But his name on the account is Elon Musk, blue check mark, and he changed his profile picture to whatever Elon Musk has now. So if you're scrolling through Twitter and you follow H3H3 for whatever reason, and you see this tweet, you're going to see Elon Musk's face on the profile picture, and then Elon Musk checkmark. So for someone that's just scrolling real quick, you'll think that's actually Elon Musk, right? So he, this morning, actually tweets this out, and I quote,
H3H3 or Elon Musk?
H3H3.
Okay.
But having, like I said, Elon Musk's account, name and picture, so it looks like it's him. He tweets this out. Even though Jeffrey Epstein committed horrible crimes, I do still miss him on nights like this for his warmth and camaraderie. Rest in peace, old friend. Okay?
Uh-huh. Yeah.
He, minutes later, is banned. H3H3, the account.
Wow. Account
suspended permanently.
Permanently? Okay.
Done. Right? So the question here is free speech, right?
Yeah.
And Elon Musk did say this yesterday or something like that. If you, I don't know if he said if you imitate me or something like that, you're banned. But he wanted, it's like if you're going to do it, you can do it, but make sure that you have parody somewhere. Or I think a parody or something along the lines of your account.
That's not free speech
tweet.
Then.
I'm sorry?
That's not free speech then.
So that's the question, right? He was banned. Yeah, no. This guy H3, I'm looking at these tweets. I don't know if they're real, but he was saying crazy stuff this morning. But just to laugh on that idea of free speech and in what way is that free speech. He's completely banned. He can't use that as account anymore. He's done. So, are we seeing a side of Elon now that we haven't seen before? Where because honestly, like, let's take a step back. I would have never thought Elon Musk would be that person to take things too seriously. Like, even when people like joke about him, right? It was kind of, for me, he's always seemed like that laid back guy. Like, yeah, there's so many like memers and jokesters on the internet. I stay away from that. Or even if I tap in every once in a while, it's just to add on, but not because I'm offended, or I won't get offended easily. But now we have a side of Elon where it's like, hey, you know what? I bought this website, this social media platform, and I don't kind of want to be made fun of anymore. I want to be kind of taken seriously. And if you in any way kind of portray me in a bad light, I'm going to ban you.
That ain't a good look. Honestly, I think he's going through a midlife crisis.
Oh.
Yeah, I just don't think... I think he's lost his marbles, dude. I think he's off his rocker, as the old folk would say.
Ah, man, when you have that much power, man, to literally buy an app where millions and millions and millions of people use, and you can kind of dictate...
Did you see how many actually use Twitter? It's horrible.
How many people actually use Twitter?
Yeah, I think
Out of
I have
8 billion people. I'd say maybe more than half for sure, 5 or 6.
No, I'll try to find it. But anyways, as you were saying,
it's just it's the weirdest thing, man. Because I'm not gonna say I'm a fan of Elon, but I will say he's an interesting person. For being a billionaire and the power and the things that he does with his money, I will say it's interesting. Now to see him kind of become this kind of salty.
It's bad.
How many people?
All right, so this is from the University of Maine. The University of Maine did a study on social media statistics. Okay.
Broad.
So, Facebook.
Yes.
2.8 billion active users. Okay, that's a lot.
That's a lot, yeah.
That's a lot. YouTube, 2.2 billion active users. WhatsApp, 2 billion. Remember, WhatsApp is a part of Facebook.
Yes.
Or Facebook owns WhatsApp, I should say. Instagram, 1.3 billion. Facebook owns Instagram. They're on a roll. Facebook, 1.3 billion. WeChat, 1.2 billion. WeChat is the, I believe it's the only approved social media in China.
Oh shit!
Or there might be more. TikTok, 732 million. QQ, never heard of QQ before. 606 million. Douyin, 600 million. Don't know what that is. Telegram, 550 million. I've heard of it, never used it. Don't even know what it looks like. Weibo, 530 million. Snapchat, 514 million. I'm probably messing this one up. K-Show, 481 million.
Okay, where's Twitter?
Pinterest, 478 million. Reddit, 430 million. Twitter, 397 million.
Oh, that's not that many.
That ain't that many.
That's not that many.
No. I mean, whenever you got Pinterest ahead of you...
I said 4 million. I said 4 billion.
Pinterest, bro. Pinterest is ahead of Twitter. And how many on Twitter is actually like a real person and not like a robot?
That's a good point. Elon Musk tweeted this earlier last year. He said, legalize comedy, period.
I mean, the Epstein thing was comedy. The thing that H3 said, or whoever that was, that's comedy.
A week ago, he said, comedy is now legal on Twitter. I assume that's when he bought it.
Yeah. And
this was yesterday. He said, going forward, any Twitter handles engaging in impersonating without clearly specifying parody, quote-unquote parody, will be permanently suspended.
Wait, what did he say?
Going forward, any Twitter handles engaging in impersonation without clearly specifying parody, quote-unquote parody, will be permanently suspended. So that's exactly what happened to H3. He didn't clearly specify in his tweet or in the name Elon Musk, where he changed the name to Elon Musk. Parody is why he was suspended. Now, this is interesting, man, because how much power does Elon Musk have owning Twitter? Realistically, what can he or can he not do with Twitter? Because it's like a social media where you can just delete it off your phone, right? You don't That's it. Period. You can go find another social media. Like there's so many out there. I'm sure that are 200 million, even half of that.
Yeah.
That you can go and put your thoughts out there, Reddit, etc., Facebook. But see, this is why I think I agree that this is probably like a bad business move because it's a social media account, man.
Yeah.
And a subscription one now at that. There's just subscriptions like Twitch, right? Twitch where you see streamers game or talk or whatever. There's so many things that they do nowadays. ASMR, whatever, where you can pay to their accounts or sort of the channel to avoid seeing ads.
Yeah.
Like YouTube, right?
But I think you still have to see the ads.
Not if you are a subscriber, no. If you're a subscriber, then you do not see any ads whatsoever. Now I'm not saying that's an amazing $3 or $4 or $5, $6 spend, but I see the benefits there. Now I guess we'll have to wait and see what Twitter is without or for our free accounts, right? What the difference is between.
I don't have Twitter anymore.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll let you know.
Next episode. Let me know about it.
What the difference is between having the blue check mark and not having it. Because as of right now, I'm fine with my 50 followers and 50 people that I follow. I'm cool with that. Like I see what they need to say. Soccer players. I'll see the matches. Yada yada yada, and I turn it off. Mm-hmm. I don't have any need to see information quick, or put out my information just as fast. I have other outlets for that. So for me, just a regular Twitter user with no following, no ads. I have nothing to promote. I'm fine with what I have now.
Yeah, you're just looking. You're just browsing.
Looking for some memes. I just want to giggle every once in a while, right? So I wonder how that'll affect me not having.
I don't think it will. I really don't think it will. Like I think for the casual person, just looking for some, for a quick little ha hee hee.
Because I see ads already, right? You see those, hymns, shaving and stuff like that. The lawnmower 3.0. Like I see those ads already, and all you have to do is scroll past it. It doesn't stay on your screen. It doesn't, wait 5 seconds before you can skip. It's like you just scroll past it. Period.
Yeah.
So I really want to see.
Yeah, play this game. You won't last 5 seconds.
Yeah. Oh yeah, no, I don't get those, but. Maybe that's why you deleted it.
I couldn't put up with it anymore. Every time I played the game, man, it was right.
They were right. Yeah. So I want to see. I mean, I guess I don't want to see, but it's going to be a sight to see how that affects stuff like that. Maybe some people are kind of scared, like, hey, I don't want to see the wrong thing anymore, because it's almost like a dictatorship within an app, right? And that's a dictator.
I wouldn't say a dictatorship, more like a hierarchy.
Yeah, well, okay, once the blue check mark and stuff like that, there will be like, oh, you don't have the blue check mark type of thing,
What are you
broke?
Poor?
Yeah, are you broke or what? So, I don't know, man. That's the craziest thing, right? Because there's no other subscription, no other social media like it, where you can pay an amount of money to have your information sent out faster or to be found faster. I don't even know. I don't know, dude. So... It's going to be interesting. Obviously, the reason maybe you'd agree, the real reason he's doing it is because I believe he also tweeted that Twitter loses $4 million a day. Right? And there's income, of course, from ads and sponsors like that, but...
Ain't enough to turn a profit.
Exactly. So, could that be a big reason? Because he's a businessman at the end of the day, right? He could probably care less if I tweet out my casserole recipe or not. He probably just wants to make sure that there's money coming out of it where he's not going broke from it.
Yeah, he wants your $8.
Yeah. So, I don't know, man. That's going to be fun. It's going to be fun. Final thoughts? Is that free speech?
That ain't free speech.
Oh, right.
No, that ain't free speech. I think he really acted like a politician on this one.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
Yeah.
That's a good way to put it.
Yeah.
Because, I don't know. Everything I've known of Elon so far, it's always kind of been like, he's making money by doing what he wants. Now it's almost like he's got to make money doing stuff that he doesn't even care really too much about, but it's just no other way around it.
And just think about all the complaints he's going to get now.
What do you mean?
Like, he's CEO of Twitter. Twitter is a user base of 300 million people. He's going to get all these complaints about, why was I banned? Why can't I say this word or that word? He's just going to get, I think he's going to get overloaded with how much, stupidity is really out there. I think he knows how much stupidity is out there, but now he's going to be getting it firsthand, in his inbox.
Yeah,
You know.
And it's gonna be funny, like how it's probably losing so much money right now. Like, how soon do you think he'll try to sell it, and for like a fraction of the price that he paid?
Yeah,
that's crazy, man. That's crazy.
Oh, it's bonkers.
Moving on, man. Moving on. What do we got, dude? What are you thinking?
All right. I'm going to talk about marijuana on this one. All right, because I want to tie it to another thing.
Okay.
I want to tie it to another thing. But what's your thought on marijuana?
My thought on marijuana, it's funny because we have elections coming up this week.
Okay.
Across the country, of course, right?
Yep.
And
I think ours here in Boise is tomorrow?
Yeah, I think tomorrow as well. Yeah. We have across the country in the United States, we have states that have already legalized recreational marijuana.
Mm-hmm.
Other states, I believe, are just medical, and then other states it's completely illegal. Any forms of it, right? Well, I shouldn't say that, any forms of it. There's like CBD stores in every corner now, but they just sell some sort of like imitation
version of it, like CBD 8, THC Delta 9, Delta 8.
I don't know nothing about that stuff, man, honestly. So yeah, so that stuff is legal. I'd probably say everywhere in the country, but when it comes to whatever marijuana has that those things don't, it's illegal.
So I will say, China has it right.
Okay.
In the sense of how they ban things.
Okay.
Like drugs or whatever.
Sure.
So the way the Chinese do it is whenever they ban something, they say we're banning this chemical and all of its analogs. Okay. In the US, they say we're banning this chemical. Okay, so that being said, so for the people who don't know about like analogs or like intermediate precursors and stuff like that, so like I mentioned just a second ago, Delta 8 or Delta 9, I forget which one it is. I think Delta 9, I think, is the real THC version or active ingredient in marijuana.
Gotcha.
Delta 8, I believe, is the analog. Basically, all they do is like remove one carbon or just move a bond over to another area, and boom, it's not Delta 9 anymore. It's not the illegal thing anymore. China says, no, we're banning all analogs, which means anything similar.
Strands or whatever,
And any other similar chemical structure is also banned. You know, in the U.S., it's like, oh yeah, we're banning this exact structure, but it's only that exact structure. So, I mean, all it takes is a smart chemist to figure out how to move a little electron bond over or hydrogen bond somewhere else, and boom, it'll basically give you the same effect. Basically.
Okay.
Yeah, basically.
Okay.
I mean, maybe not as extreme, or maybe even more extreme.
I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, but I forgot what led me to saying that.
You were just saying. I was just saying that there's some sort of form of CBD or cannabis.
Yes. So legal. The CBD stores they're selling Delta 8.
Okay.
Because it basically gives you a very, very similar effect to the real thing of what Delta 9, I believe, is in actual marijuana.
Got you. Interesting stuff. That stuff is all very new, very, very new in the timeline of the world. But we have politicians now in states where it's illegal completely. For example, I believe Texas, it's illegal completely. And the candidate running against the incumbent, that's what I say, mayor, governor.
Governor of where?
Of Texas.
Governor of Texas, okay.
I believe the incumbent is a Republican, and he's obviously against marijuana because it's still, illegal in Texas. The Democrat, the opposing politician, is running to legalize marijuana. So
is the governor of Texas rerunning also?
Yes.
He is rerunning.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Something Abbott.
Yeah, Greg Abbott.
Greg, that's right. He obviously is opposing marijuana, and that's where his fan base...
But then you have the other Republican and the other Democrat. So you have two Republicans and one Democrat running.
No. I'm sorry. Just one Republican and one Democrat. Greg Abbott versus the Democrat.
Oh, okay.
So Greg incumbent means like he was in office before the last term he was in office. So the next election for the presidential, Joe Biden will be the incumbent president versus Trump or whoever comes up, whatever. So this is a big talking point right now because are you for marijuana or against it? That will decide kind of basically in a nutshell who you're voting for, right? So it's very polarizing in that sense. Marijuana is an interesting drug because it's not quite like any other drug. Off the top of my head, of course, I'm talking about illegal drug, of course, cocaine, heroin, methamphetamines, etc., prescription drugs and stuff like that. Because one of the biggest distinctions for me that when I think of marijuana is that it's not addictive in its properties.
I think it's addictive. I mean, personally, I don't do marijuana, but I think from what I see in other people, I think it's very addictive.
Okay, from its properties, as far as like scientifically, there's nothing in the marijuana that will make you addicted to it. Rather,
from what we know.
Okay. Well, okay. So, yeah, I can't argue with that, right? From what we know right now today, there's nothing addictive about it. Whereas nicotine and stuff like that, where
it's been proven to be addictive.
Right.
Yeah.
That's one of the biggest distinctions for me, at least. I don't know what you might.
Okay, so this is my thought on what you just said.
Okay.
I think it is addictive because I think marijuana gives a release. I mean, I'm just a pleb. I don't know what I'm really saying. Right. But this is my thought on it.
Yeah.
I think whenever people smoke marijuana, I believe they get a dopamine release.
Okay.
And I think people get addicted to that dopamine release.
Okay.
So I think that's where the addictive property comes in.
Dopamine is addictive.
Yeah.
But it's not scientifically proven that there's dopamine being released when marijuana is used. Because there's also two different strands, sativa and...
Indica.
And was it
Indica.
Indica. So where there's like I believe they describe it as like a happy high and then a low high, right? Or different effects to it. So obviously when you take the low high, you don't get, I'd assume, I don't know.
I think you still do. I think so. I mean, I don't know.
Get a dopamine?
I believe so.
I don't know. I mean, look that up actually because I'm not sure. But basically what I'm trying to say is that there's not addictive properties to the actual cannabis or marijuana like there is for cocaine and everything else that I mentioned earlier.
Mm-hmm.
So because of that,
THC stimulates neurons in the reward system to release chemical signals for dopamine.
But it's still not addictive of a drug. Is that correct? As far as like scientifically, right? They haven't said, yo, marijuana, if you do more than, like with nicotine cigarettes, they always say, I think 7 is the magic number. After you do 7 cigarettes, your chances of being addicted to it are way higher.
That's actually what I wanted to talk about next, or to relate this.
Okay.
I don't think, I think if marijuana is illegal, I think cigarettes should be illegal, or vice versa.
I agree. I think cigarettes would do way more damage.
Yes.
To a human body than marijuana. But we'll get to that in a second. Why I think it should be legal is because, first of all, it's not addictive in the sense of there's not a property, a strand, or some sort of ingredient within the marijuana that makes it addictive. 2, its positive health benefits highly, I'd say in my opinion, highly outweigh the negative, if any, side effects to using marijuana. And it's also like a very social drug where it's not like you get aggressive with alcohol or cocaine. You start doing like irrational, spontaneous acts of whatever it is. Where it's almost like you do marijuana, it's like, oh, this guy's chill. The word chill kind of goes with marijuana. Like, this guy's, a vibe. He's chilling. He's listening to music, type of thing. There's also this weird this weird fact, I guess, that apparently there's never been a car accident caused by the use of marijuana. I'm not saying that someone high.
Surely that's BS.
So I agree because car accidents happen all the time.
Absolutely.
But because of the effects of marijuana,
No. I don't believe that one bit.
It's a stat out there, a statistic.
No, there's no way that's a true statistic.
Whether it's true, I'm not defending it. I'm just saying it's out there.
Look, I know you're just a pleb, but there's no way that could be a true statistic.
by the effects of marijuana. That's the key, though.
Like you said, it puts you down. It puts people to sleep.
Okay, well,
like you smoke enough, you'll probably fall asleep.
I don't know, man. I don't know about that one.
Absolutely.
Because imagine like an Advil PM.
Mm-hmm.
Now, of course, if you've been driving for 8 hours, on a
bro,
road
that's
trip.
that's still a DWI. Like you're intoxicated by something. It's gonna impair your vision. It's gonna impair your physical faculties. Like you're surely 100%.
I'm not defending it. I don't know the facts, right? But apparently that's a fact.
There's no way that's a fact. There's no way.
It's a statistic, I'm sure.
It can't be a true statistic.
Okay.
It must be like one of those like 5 out of 4 people are probably
There's
retarded.
always like it's asterisk in the bottom, except in Michigan that one time.
I refuse to allow to have that broadcasted to our viewers because there's just no way.
Well, look, it's a statistic that's out there. I'm not defending it. I think it's a long shot because even, come on, right? Surely there's been one time, I'm not hoping for it, but surely there's been one time.
Bro, there's been car accidents caused by birds. Bro, if a bird's going to cause a car accident, like a friggin', you smoking too much weed is going to cause a car accident.
Yeah, it's an interesting one, man. It's an interesting, but of course, because it doesn't correlate the way that alcohol does, where it's like your vision gets impaired, your hearing, your reaction speeds, and everything gets impaired.
Absolutely, it gets impaired.
With alcohol, I'm saying.
With both.
No, it does, but I don't know if it's one of those things. I'm not an expert on weed and taking weed or smoking weed, so I don't know if you can like snap out of it type of thing. Right? With alcohol, you can, right? You don't just.
I have never seen anyone just snap out of, their intoxication of marijuana.
Look, man.
Like, I'm not saying you can't, but I'm just saying I think 100% unequivocally it affects your reaction time, your decision-making model. I think all that.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know. We're plebs once said once
Look,
again.
I mean, that doesn't take away from the fact that I believe marijuana should be legal. I think it should be legal.
Yeah,
personally. I think it should be legal. I think if cigarettes are legal, I think you have to have marijuana be legal.
Alcohol being legal as well.
Legal. Yeah. I think if you have cigarettes legal, I believe marijuana has to be legal. I believe if you're gonna ban marijuana, you have to ban cigarettes.
Yeah.
But
it's the craziest thing, man. For me, one of the biggest complaints I have against marijuana is employment.
Okay.
Right? Because marijuana is such of, like I said, it's like a chill drug, right? It's not something that you want to, like throw your life away. I'm gonna go smoke some marijuana because I just can't take it anymore, type of thing, right? Mm-hmm. It's almost like I need to take a step back from what I'm doing right now and enjoy my time or enjoy this moment, type of thing. That's where I feel like most marijuana users tend to use it. Of course, pleb here, but it sucks for those people that may have used it in the past and they're trying to get a serious job, where it's being on the same category as cocaine, meth, heroin, etc.
Yes.
And I feel like that's where it's, I guess from personal experience, that's kind of the biggest downfall of it, and why, and it's the weirdest thing of having drugs illegal and legal in the same country in different states. That's just the weirdest thing to me, because I think marijuana is the only example of that. I don't think there's anything else in the country that can be legal, or a drug that can be legal in one place and illegal in a different place. I don't know in any other country or drug that has that same criteria to it. And it's the weirdest thing, man. It's the weirdest thing. And it's so unfortunate, I gotta say. Because honestly, the government is all about money. And money is marijuana. And marijuana is money. In Colorado, I don't know what the stat is, but they made so much freaking money in taxes. Because you can tax the drug now because it's legal. You can go buy it in a corner shop. They made so much money with the year that it became legal. I don't know, 2017 or something like that. That it's like it's a no-brainer for most part, dude, and especially having stats like this, where whether you agree or we agree or not, no car accident.
I'm looking at it right now. It is a lot.
Talk to me. Let me look.
Specifically, California. California in tax revenue has made $1.2 billion last year. Last year being 2021.
Jesus.
Washington comes in at second place, $559 million.
Sheesh.
I mean, you can do a lot with that kind of money.
I mean, build roads, schools, libraries,
yeah.
Offices, government offices.
Mm-hmm. Colorado comes in third, $423 million. Then you got a few other states: 246 million, 219 million, 317 million. This is from the Motley Fool, a pretty reputable site.
100%.
Anyways, as you were.
No, I was just looking up this. So
what?
So you can't overdose from marijuana. Okay, I'm sorry. Oh, wait, no, don't even make that sound. You can, unless you smoke like 50,000 pounds of it in 2 hours.
Look, I've heard that claim before.
But it makes sense.
Define an overdose.
Overdose where you die from.
Oh, where you die. Okay.
Yeah, no. So what was it? Marijuana overdose, and I quote: "Like alcohol, a broad range of drugs and medications, marijuana cannabis can trigger significant toxic reactions in the human body. The term typically used to describe these reactions is overdose. Some form." Okay, that wasn't really what I was. Okay, so most people who overdose on marijuana run no risk of dying from the toxic changes in their normal body function. So from marijuana alone, you cannot die. Unless I think you smoke like 50,000 tons in 2 hours, something like that, right? Yeah, it was some like Uber facts or whatever on
I don't believe Uber facts, bro.
Well,
you know this.
To each their own.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I was just trying to see how many people have died from marijuana addiction. Despite its growing reputation as a socially acceptable substance, marijuana is an addictive drug. In fact, the American Psychiatric Association has established a specific diagnosis: cannabis use disorder, for people dealing with symptoms of addiction and or non-addictive abuse. In 2016, roughly 4 million Americans over the age of 11 qualified this diagnosis. Okay, I don't know if this is a reputable source.
I don't know if this is a reputable source either. This is from the American Addiction Center National Rehab Directory. It sounds reputable. I don't know.
Yeah.
But it says facts on marijuana overdose and poisoning deaths. Allegedly, in 2014, this was a study from 1999 to 2014. Allegedly, there was 287 reported deaths of marijuana poisoning.
Jeez. Marijuana poisoning.
However, it says the majority of the deaths involve drug mixing.
Yeah.
Majority, not all of them. A majority.
So you're saying, or that stat or research says that people have died from marijuana alone.
Yes. According to this study of the American Addiction Center.
I beg to differ.
Okay.
I do. Because, look, it's like that COVID thing that happened, and I know you know a lot about that.
So it said, out of the 287, it said, from cannabis alone, marijuana alone, 18.
Okay. Period.
Yeah, 18, yeah.
Look, I'm not defending that. I will say, though, you know a lot about this, more than I do at least, about the whole COVID thing that was happening a couple years ago where people would die from COVID, or they would die having COVID, and hospitals will attribute the COVID alone, and that way that they would get more, was it tax money or something like that? Or
yeah, this one says, do not believe wild made-up stories you will read online about how you would have to ingest over 1,000 pounds of marijuana to die.
See, I don't know, man. See, I would say it's that those people, in my opinion, maybe had some sort of respiratory deficiency,
comorbidity,
something, and it could have been that. I'm not sure, but that would kind of explain that, because it's just I don't know, dude. I don't know, or some sort of like a mental state where they went to. I don't know. See, I don't know if you can like trip off of marijuana, right? The way you can with shrooms or LSD or stuff like that, right? I don't know if marijuana has that effect. But I also, don't know all the types of strands there are or types and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't know. Or laces, like you mentioned, a lot of them could be laced.
Laced, yeah. So, talk to me about this.
Yes.
What about synthetic marijuana?
Okay, what is that?
You don't know about synthetic marijuana?
Like the vapes, like a liquid?
No, really? You don't know about synthetic marijuana?
No.
Oh, dude. So basically,
I've heard of it, but I don't know.
So it used to be legal because it used to be back in like 2012, 2013, 2014. That's when, it started getting big popularity.
Okay.
Because you used to be able to buy it at like corner stores.
Okay.
And it used to be widely available.
Okay.
And basically, you can buy synthetic marijuana. It would be just like this regular like herb minced up that looked like marijuana.
Okay.
Oh, I forgot what that herb is called, but
sounds like the CBD 8 or 9.
No. It's no. So basically, they get this chemical that I don't know what the chemical is. I'm gonna try to find it real quick. They get this chemical. It's man-made, synthetic, obviously, and they spray this chemical on this stuff that looks like weed, but it's really just a regular like herb. Okay. And on the package, it'll be like ×2, ×3, ×5, ×7, ×8, which just means how many times basically that they've like sprayed the chemical or the potency of this. And dude, people have some crazy bad trips.
Really?
Really bad trips. Basically, people would like strip down naked and just start fighting people, or just start just rolling on the ground.
So what was like sprayed with like some cocaine or something? That's not what it sounds like.
No, it's just however they make synthetic marijuana. Or people start talking in like slow motion and just start rolling on the ground, like they're just tripping out hard.
I didn't know about this, honestly.
Oh yeah, you could probably YouTube synthetic marijuana.
But
trips.
It's illegal now.
Now it's illegal.
Okay.
Yeah, now it's illegal.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Do you have a question coming up?
I was just saying, what do you think about synthetic marijuana? But you don't really know much of synthetic marijuana. So,
if that's the case, then that sounds worse than the actual marijuana. At that point, it's not even marijuana. At that point, I mean, if it's as you described it right now, it sounds more like a hallucinogen more than anything else. Yeah,
probably is hallucinogen. I mean, I don't know.
I mean, if you start rolling on the ground and start tripping and speaking in language and tongues, then
basically that's exactly what it looks like.
That's not the marijuana we know.
Yeah. Had like trade names or street names of like K2 or Spice. I think those other ones, but
interesting.
I can't think of the other ones.
I don't know, man. I think that it would be legal if we didn't have the type of politics that we have now here in the United States, where it's like you might be a Republican governor or whatever, and you'd be like, honestly, I really don't care for marijuana, and honestly, it'd probably make us a lot of money, but most of my constituents are against it, and the only way I can keep their vote is if I stay against it. So I'm going to be against it. I feel like that's the case with most politicians here in the United States nowadays.
See, and I think that'll be a topic for another day. I think we maybe touched on it in a previous episode, but I think that'll be a topic for another day about how politics works in that kind of sense.
Let's write that one down because that's a good one, man. Because I feel like so much of our politics today is on that basis of, because the people that like me hate this, I have to hate this as well, type of thing, right?
Basically.
But let us know what you guys think of Kanye, of art and the artist. Let us know what you think of Twitter,
Elon Musk. What is free speech?
Subscription.
Is Twitter free in the sense of free speech? Are you gonna buy that blue check mark? $8. I think he compared it to like the price of a latte, like $8 at Starbucks gives you happiness for 30 minutes, but he said like $8 of Twitter Prime or Twitter Blue, whatever he calls it, it's gonna give you happiness for a month. So pick your poison.
Real quick, actually, let me say this before now you mentioned that, it reminded me of this thought I had in my head the other day. It's like, okay, with that train of thought or that idea of $8 can get you a venti, cappuccino, rappuccino, right, at Starbucks. Yeah. For 30 minutes.
Frappuccino latte. Yeah.
And then it can get you a whole month of Twitter Blue, whatever that entitles. Netflix is also $8 or so. Yeah. And that gets you literally, there'll be minimum 5 things on Netflix.
I think it's $12 now, personally. But yeah.
12?
Anyways, keep going, yeah.
I think I pay 8, but whatever. Netflix is guaranteed to have something for you. At least like 5 items minimum that you will like.
That's true.
And that's like actual like feedback that the government at the website or the company is giving you. Like, hey, I know our viewers like this, so we're gonna make this. Whereas Twitter, I just don't see it. At least from the way I use Twitter, I don't see the need to have that blue check mark.
$9.99 a month. What was I gonna say? And the thing, okay, this is the thing about Netflix though. You're paying $9.99 a month,
Yes.
and think about how much money it costs Netflix to make a TV series or a Netflix series.
Incredible amount, bro.
And how many Netflix series are there? There's loads of them.
Oh, now there is, yeah.
Yeah, there's loads of them. So that being said, you're paying $9.99 a month for billions of dollars worth of entertainment.
Dude.
Whether you like it or not, you're paying for billions of dollars worth of entertainment.
Yes, literally. Are you doing the same for Twitter for $8? No.
No, not at all.
There's no free version of Netflix you have to pay for, but at that point with that that idea, it's worth it. Where Twitter, I don't see it, dude. I don't see it yet. I guess next time we talk, we'll see what happened. We can just recap and see what happened and what's changing. But as of now, I don't see it. Let us know what you think about that. Also, marijuana. What do you think? Should it be legalized in the United States? Where do you live? Is it legalized there? Should it be? Should it not be? What experiences have you had with it? Yada, 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 yada.
Yeah. That being said, I'm Sean.
I'm Marcel.
And this was Pleb Talk.
Y'all have a good night. Stay safe. Stretch. Drink some water. Exercise. Do your homework. Love your family, friends, and live your best life. Peace out, y'all.